Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa D'Amico. I am the curator of Soaring Spirits Exhibit and Fundraiser in memory and definitely celebration of the life of Hal Parker. And today I am here with Kathy Tappenden, who's going to be speaking about the artwork that will be contributed to this special exhibit and some memories of Hal, which I know you have. Hi, Kathy.
Hello, Lisa.
Kathy, start wherever you want to. I'd love to hear more about Hal because I feel like I met Hal late in the game.
Oh, no, this is a very long-term relationship. It's mostly between my husband, Paul Tappenden, the artist. And as everybody knows, he also passed away, and Hal. We moved to Nyack. I'm thinking it was the late 1970s, 78, 79, something like that. And my husband was in his watercolor phase, and he was doing a lot of boats. We lived down by the river. He was painting a lot of portraits, and he had also at that point started to do a lot of buildings. So of course, what do you need? You need a framer and you need a gallery. And Hal had an adorable shop down on Bird Street. And one of the first landscapes I'm going to say that Paul probably ever attempted is, I don't know if you can see it.
It's beautiful.
This is a watercolor of the birdhouse frame shop. And I would say that Paul was probably a visitor there every single day. And then around the corner on Broadway, there was a gallery, and I can't remember the name of it, but there were two women named Carol who worked in there. They sold jewelry as well as artwork. So, it was your Nyack day. You go to Hal, you have something framed, you pick it up from Hal, you walk it around the corner, hang it up in the gallery. And they were wonderful times. Everybody was so friendly. We all knew each other, and it was just what we did every day. It was great. So this picture brought back a lot of memories for me, and Paul as well. And this is one of his early ones, and it's actually a very nice one. I did offer it to Hal about a year ago. I went into his shop, and he was so truly touched by it. But unfortunately, he had way way too much artwork and couldn't accept it. But I would like everybody to know that this is here. It's available, and I'd like to get it displayed, especially for his show, or maybe in the gallery permanently. In the Parker. The Parker is a perfect name for it.
It really is.
But Hal has just been a really good friend to us for well over 40 years. I would have to say. He he could serve all your needs, whatever you needed. It just happened. And what I have to say in particular, and this is just a me thing, we know that he and Paul had a relationship for many years. But after Paul passed away, and I had this huge portfolio of watercolors, and I realized that I've got to frame them in order to show them. So as I sell one, I frame one and I bring it down there. And the man was just incredible, absolutely incredible. He would just go to his mats and flip it around. Of course, there were hundreds in there, and pick it out, hold it up there, and go behind him to the wall, pick up the frame. And I'd look at it and say, that's great. That's great. And by the time he had finished framing it, I realized this piece is drop dead gorgeous. That man had such a talent, such a knack for just being able to pick out whatever complimented your piece. And he did it exactly on the dot every single time. Not only that, but I had brought a few pieces in to be framed, and he would have them out on the counter, and other customers would come in, and he was actually selling a few pieces for me too, which I really appreciated. It was so nice. And one of the nicest things about Hal was that if you were in a hurry for something, if you had to, hang it in a show and it was a week away, he'd get it done for you. What really helped me out was after Paul had passed, and I'm stuck with this art business, and all these pieces of art, and trying to figure out what it was I used to help him with maybe 30 years ago. And I'd run down to Hal and say, Hal, I got this piece, but I need a piece of glass. He'd say, hold on a minute, go in the back, come out. He'd cut a piece of glass and just give it to me. Or he'd give me something else. Oh, what was it? It was Paul's Mona Lisa that he painted when he was a teenager, and I wanted to show it, but it needed screw eyes. And he said, no problem. He puts them in, and then he hands me a handful of screw eyes because he knew I didn't have any. He was just such a doll like that. He was just And I know he treated everybody the same. It wasn't a time when you go into that shop and you're standing there that you don't run into 2 or 3 other Nyack people. Everybody had a Hal thing. Everybody. And he is going to be so dearly missed. He already is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
Kathy, tell everyone about the piece that, well, that you are putting into the show. That your daughter's putting in the show. Does she know, has she started working on it?
Oh, it's done.
It's done?
Yeah. My daughter would do anything for her father. I gave her the wings, I guess about a week ago. She comes to see me on Wednesdays. And she walked in the door this Wednesday. Oh, Mom, I forgot the wings. So I don't know what she's done with it. I gave her free reign. I told her, you just, take out your arts and crafts, however you want to do it. This is for Dad. This is for Hal. You do what you want. So I feel very happy that she was able and talented enough to get this done for the Hal show, the wings.
That's great. And I feel like Hal and Paul are like, Hal is still, framing for Paul, and they're doing an exhibit in heaven for all of us.
Yes, they are. They are. And the piece that I've chosen to exhibit is the last piece that Hal framed for me.
Oh.
I needed it for a different show. It's an extremely beautiful piece. It might even be the same piece that won the Pride Award some years back when Paul entered it. I'm not sure. Paul could tell us for sure. And I brought it in there, and that's where Hal did his magic, and he pulled out the mat and he pulled out the frame, and I went back a week later, and oh my God, it's gorgeous. So I just felt that this has to be, this is what Hal needs in his show.
Absolutely. Kathy, thank you so much for talking to us today. It's wonderful. And I can't wait to see you at the reception on August 2nd. And I can't wait to see what your daughter has created. This is exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. I want to thank you for making me a part of it. Nyack has some very, very special people in it, and Hal was one of them. Let's do our best for him.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Kathy.
Okay, Lisa. Thank you.